Hi guys! First things first, let's get it out of the way. Yes, I have cut my hair. It's short. Short-ish anyway, short for me. But on to the true subject of this video. I know it is a little late. The UnderHyped Readathon ended 5 days ago, but I had been super duper busy moving out of my flat. The videos that you have seen this week were in fact pre-filmed. But I am here, and better late than never, I always say. I'm just going to briefly fill you in on the books I read during the UnderHyped Readathon. First things first, I read The Magician by W. Somerset Maugham. I really enjoy this book. It thoroughly blew me away and surpassed all of my expectations, although they were relatively high. So I gave this book 5 out of 5 stars in the end. It's a gothic novel set at the beginning of the 20th century, and it follows a group of friends whose lives take a turn for the worse, possibly, when they become mixed up in the life of a magician who brings the supernatural and paranormal into their world. I won't say any more about this book just now because I am going to do a full review of that. I also read an Encyclopedia of Early Earth, the graphic novel. This was another spectacular read. I was going to give it 5 out of 5 stars, but it had quite an abrupt ending, which threw me off slightly, so I did end up giving it 4, but I still would highly recommend it. It has got some absolutely stunning art, which I can't show you right now because I don't have it on me, but I can assure you, if you enjoy good, fun art in your graphic novels, then this is one to check out. It's lovely, it's quite a neutral colour palette with just pops of colour here and there, which I really enjoy. It's also just an absolutely lovely story. It really resembled almost Russian doll of stories. It was a story within a story within a story, some of the stories basically being the whole book, some of the stories being a page long, and some being of a variety of different lengths between those. Those were the only 2 books I read from beginning to end, but I did read some of some other books, so I'll quickly mention those. I read the first 112 pages of A Natural History of Dragons, a memoir by Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. This book didn't really live up to my expectations. I did actually put it down during the week, having reached that 111, 112 page mark. The young woman that it follows starts off at the beginning of the book as quite a precocious little child, but that was quite fun when she was a child. But at the point that I'd gotten to, where she was a young adult, she still hadn't really grown out of that, and it was starting to come across more as irritating snobbery, and I was finding her a somewhat unlikable character. It's not to say I wasn't enjoying the story and it wasn't well written, but when a character starts to get on my nerves, I have to put a book down. I will be finishing it though. I wasn't put off entirely, I just wanted to take a break, so I will probably form a more full opinion once I actually finish it. I also managed to pass the 100-page mark in Courtesans and Fishcakes by James Davidson. Again, I am really enjoying this non-fiction book. It's just been a while since I read a non-fiction book from cover to cover, so it's taking me a little longer than it would to read a fiction book, but the more I read, the more I get into it and the quicker I pick up my pace. This book just gives us an insight into the luxury, passions and hobbies of the Athenian citizens in the classical period. I also read the first 56 pages of the Argonautica by Valerius Flaccus. This is another retelling of the Jason and the Golden Fleece myth, and I am enjoying it. It is very similar and very different from the Apollonius of Rhodes version that I've mentioned before and thoroughly love. So far it's pretty much the exact same story, but I'm interested to see if it veers off at all from that version at some point. But it's told in a different way. He spends more time describing certain things than Apollonius did, so it's making it quite an interesting reading experience, and it's already a story that I know I love, so I'm really enjoying it. And this isn't technically an UnderHyped book, so I am sorry, but I did read and finish Locke and Key Volume 4. This is a sort of horror / mystery graphic novel series that is really excellent. I recommend checking it out, but shh, it's not technically UnderHyped. All in all, I really enjoyed the UnderHyped Readathon. I'm really glad I managed to read what I did read because I really enjoyed most of it, and discovered some new absolute loves and books that I'll recommend to people. One thing that I did notice when looking for books for the UnderHyped Readathon and watching people's videos about the UnderHyped Readathon is the difficulty in defining an UnderHyped book. Is it a book that's underhyped on BookTube, or is it a book that's underhyped in real life? Because outside of BookTube, because those two things aren't necessarily the same. I noticed a lot of the books that I thought I might pick up weren't technically underhyped, because they were over 5,000 ratings on Goodreads. In fact, some of them were way over 5,000 ratings on Goodreads, but I'd never heard them mentioned on BookTube before. There are probably books that are underhyped across the board, but it's probably got more to do with your situation and where you're finding your information on books to do with what's underhyped and what isn't. There are books that were probably hyped in their day but aren't really hyped now, so it's just really interesting to think about, and I would go and check out Charlotte's channel and see some of her discussions and live shows that she did, which are up on her channel, about the Underhyped Readathon, because there's some really interesting discussions and questions going on there. But today it is the 1st of August, and that means it is the beginning of the classical literature read-along, which I'll leave a link to my video about down in the description box if you haven't seen it already. But basically, August is the classical read-along month. I am quite low maintenance. If you know me, you'll know this, but I won't be posting loads and loads of videos throughout the read-along. I will post a video on the 16th when I've finished the Odyssey and the Penelopiad as we chat, discussion / review on those books, and then start Metamorphosis and Girl Meets Boy on the 16th and post a discussion review video for them at the end of the month when the read-along is over. But I will be chatting on the Goodreads group with people, and there's already a lot of people on there chatting, so if you want to talk about these books and get involved, then go check out the Goodreads group, and good luck with your reading. Bye guys!